Good afternoon, viewers at home. My name is Prophetess Deborah Oshoffa. Like I wrote earlier, I'm here this afternoon to talk about something very vital to everybody in life. And what am I here to talk about? I'm here to talk about life, death, and legacy. What is life, what is death, and what is legacy? I remember I told you that I'm going to use my life as a personal experience to tell you about these three things, and I only hope I'll be able to do it. Before then, Akwa Sikoyi, I pray we will come out of this period hale and healthy, and every of our families home and abroad, we shall all gather to celebrate the end of coronavirus. Talking about life, what is life? I'm a young girl, I'm a young woman. By His grace, next month, I will be 47. That means I'm pretty young. But I've seen all phases of life. And one thing I noticed in life is that life doesn't promise anything permanent. Everything about life is temporal. We have it today, we don't have it tomorrow. We have a lot to eat today. Tomorrow we might have nothing to eat. Some people get up early in their life. They have so many children. It won't be a portion. At the end of some people's life, they are not buried by their children. These are not choices we make by ourselves. These are what life brings to us. That is why everyone prays that life brings us positive things, and even when life brings bad things, we should be able to withstand, because nothing is permanent in life. If you're having it rosy today, don't think it will be rosy forever. If you're having it difficult today, don't think it will be difficult forever. Life doesn't promise anybody permanent things. Orin kan ní ẹkún lónìí ẹ̀rín lọ́la o, ayé lọ́jà ọ̀run nílé wa. What am I trying to talk about? Let me start about my personal life. I grew up as a little girl. Yeah, I can say I grew up with affluence. Our father gave us the best. When I mean the best, we had the best. He gave us good education. He gave us things when we needed them. He was there for us. We had what we could have. And suddenly at 12 years, we lost our dad. A new chapter of life starts. And I can say for 20, 25, 26 years, we knew what other side of life is. I can say my family, the Oshoffa family, knew what the other side of life is. We had things going on so well, and suddenly we lost our dad, and things got so difficult. And we were talking of a dad that was ready to give you everything. And suddenly life changes. And we are forced to adapt. And that is what I want to talk about. Be ready that any time in life, we have to adapt to some situations. I remember something very well. I used to see my father like a Superman, a superhero. In fact, it got to a stage I was a bit obsessed with my dad. And you know, being obsessed with somebody you saw do so many miracles, and someday we're called to go to loot, and finally I see him lying in a casket, and I say, finally, this man is really gone. And that starts a new phase of our life. And that is why I'm telling you that life is not always good. But the good thing about life is somebody makes it good for us. There's a song in my secondary school. It says, when I was a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be rich? Will I be poor? Hear what she said to me. Que sera, kira. Whatever would be, would be. The future that I can tell. Okay, Sarah. What am I saying? In life, what we be, we be. People that will come through in life, that will teach us lessons of life, we must come across them. It doesn't mean about our perfection. It doesn't mean how good we are. It doesn't mean we are bad. But in life, we must go through some stages, and we don't have control over some things in life. I remember growing up with my father, and what I loved about my father was his humility. I tell people every time, I say, if you see an Oshoffa that is proud, he didn't know my father. My father was an humble man. He was too humbled. I would just say that. That was why I said I was obsessed with my daddy. My father taught us two things as young as I was that I took note of. He taught us irele and he taught us itelorun. What is irele? What is itelorun? Irele is humility. If your parents don't teach you to be humble, someday life will teach you to be humble. That is what I'm talking about, life. Our father, our parents taught us to be humble. The other thing I said my father taught us is itelorun. I have friends who are rich. I have people who are better than me. But because I've been trained to be satisfied, I know that a tomorrow will come. And that tomorrow will definitely be better than my today. That is where I'm able to stand and talk to people. Sometimes I speak to people, I encourage people. And the person encouraging people is actually lacking in so many things. But because my duty is to encourage people, and I cannot give it up. What am I trying to do this afternoon? I want to use my life to talk about life, death, and legacy. Mo ronú títí, àṣé asán mà láyé jẹ́. Mo ronú jinlẹ̀, àṣé òfò láyé o. Ìmùlẹ̀ mo fò láyé o. Láyé jẹ́ o. I won't cry, Benji. Shut up. I won't. I promise you. Ìmùlẹ̀ mo fò láyé o. Asán mà láyé jẹ́. Bí òjò lówó wá kú, bí òjò lọ́rọ̀ wá lọ, bó ṣe tálíkà wá kọjá lọ sọ́run, asán mà láyé jẹ́. One song says, I think Imole Ayo sang it. Ó ní tí mo bá rántí mi á ṣe mí. Ọjà láyé, ogun láyé o. A ò kọjá níbẹ̀, ilé ayé kì í ṣe ilé àwa o. Bó ti wù ká pẹ́ o, a ó padà lọ́lé o. Now I want to talk about death. So many people don't seem to understand that death is real. We carry on with life as if we are everything. You see, some shepherds behave as if they are God. Even the man Oshoffa that was called, where is he today? Is dead. We should start reasoning that a day will come. Amansu Amanji, Orun is just a simple example of death. Iku kekere lorun. Amansu, we are not aware of anything happening around us. Tabasun, ibi tabasun si lasun si, àrántí nǹkan ta ní l'account, àrántí ilé ta kó, àrántí aṣọ ta wọ̀. And that doesn't give us a little understanding of what death is. That someday, either we like it or not, it is an end to everybody. It is something that must happen to everybody. It doesn't mean you're a Christian. It doesn't mean you're a Muslim. It is something that must happen to everybody. Kí la wá ń wáyé mọ́yà fún? Kí la ṣiṣẹ́? Kí la lò ní bí ẹni tí ò lórí ọ̀fẹ́ ọ̀la mọ́? We are living on borrowed times and people are not aware. I said this morning to someone, I said, I had understanding of this. When I lost my daddy, I was a bit young. I was 12 years. I didn't really understand what it was. I just knew my mother was crying, everybody was crying. I saw him being laid into his casket. I didn't have an understanding of death. I didn't know what it was until I lost a close one. One of my stepmoms, she was very close to me. And we took her to a private hospital, a private morgue. And being in a private morgue, that means we could have access to her the way we wanted. So what we'll just is that we'll go to the morgue, we'll press where she's placed, and like a trolley we just roll her out for us. And I saw what death really is. The only thing left in us when we die is our fingers, these fingers, and our hair. Every other thing changes. The body we spend so much money on changes. The clothes we invest so much on, we cannot wear them again. You know, there was a we went there and I started touching her hair. Her hair didn't change. Her fingers didn't change. Yet, some people don't know that death is real. All you do even in the church of God is positions, ambitions, ranks. Ṣé really tí ipò ń lọ sọ́run rí ṣá? Oshoffa bó ṣe jẹ́ very pastor founder tó ipò ẹ̀ ò máa kì í ṣe excuse fún. Kí ló dé tá a jókòó kí wá ronú wa? That's why I told somebody, I said this time is a time of reflection for all of us. We need to sit and talk. Some people have died to coronavirus. Ikú kan ló máa pààyàn. Bí coronavirus ò pa wá lásìkò tó wà yìí, nǹkan míì á ṣe wá. Orí tó ń fún ẹlòmíì láàrin ìṣẹ́jú kan ń gbẹ̀mí lọ. Ẹ ṣe jẹ́ àbẹ̀rù Olúwa. I remember, I think this thing I'm talking of is over. My second son is 23 years, 24. So what I'm talking about should be like 20 years story. We lost one woman in CCC Ikeja 1. A wife of Air Marshal Kolawole. She was very close to me. She was like my elder sister. So we went to see her in the mortuary. And they needed to dress her up. When we got to the mortuary, I was one that came with the clothes. I got there very early because of the sutana she needed to put on. It was that day I even knew that even this sutana we spend money on our last day, we might not be able to put them on. A new cloth has to be sewn for us. A different cloth has to be sewn for us. Arawa ò ní gbaṣọ mọ́. Sutana tá a rán lẹ́sì jọ̀rọ̀jọ̀rọ̀ tá a rán ya arawa ò ní gbà mọ́ tó bá dìgbà kan. It's that day I know that when they sew sutana for the deceased, it actually tied all over them. They cannot put it on them straight anymore. So I took the sutana to the morgue and everybody was a bit scared. Ta ló máa wọṣọ fún, ta ló máa wọṣọ. Mo ní kí lẹ fẹ́ ṣe? Wọ́n lè fẹ́ wọṣọ, mo ní kí ló wá lé nínú ká wọṣọ fẹ́yàn. I was very young. I'm talking of when I was 35 years. And I just went in and I dressed that woman up. That day, my life changed. I had a new meaning to what life is. If you see corpse being embalmed in the mortuary, you might end up not eating cold fish again. This frozen fish. You might end up not eating frozen turkey again. Ó dé stage kan kí a tó wọṣọ wọ́n gbé body jáde wọ́n lù ní gíkí ice valley jáde mọ́ wí pé àǹtí lágbájá màrè pẹ̀lú gbogbo ẹwà àǹtí lágbájá òun àná ń lu block mọ́gi lára tí ò lè.